All right, it's straight up 6 o'clock. Why don't we get started and call the meeting to order? It's 6 p.m. on April 11th, 2022. In attendance from the committee, we've got Michael Bennett, Charles Zarella Burke, Todd Dargy, John Smalling, and myself, Tom Connolly. Also in attendance, our support team in Linda Cole and Sandy Nolan. And Darlene Regan, I see Chief Chavez, Sue Lawless, and Caesar's here as our also for support. I think first order of business tonight would be to ask for a motion to accept the minutes of the meeting of March 28th.
So moved.
You get a second? Thanks, Todd. Okay, a quick roll call vote. Michael Bennett?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
And I think, and Cheryl? You're on mute, Cheryl.
Yes.
Thanks. Myself is a yes, so that carries. Last week's minutes are still in production, so we'll take those up at the next meeting. Next on, and I see that Matt's here. Next on the agenda is just a discussion with Matt about the AGS intercom system, and maybe just help us understand that so that we're well prepared for questions at the town meeting when they arise. Matt.
Sure, and thank you for the invitation tonight to your finance committee meeting about this project. So the Halifax Elementary School has had issues over the past several years, starting with when I was a head custodian there, we were having issues. The problem with the system is it's, number one, it's a proprietary and based system. So there's only one authorized vendor that can perform maintenance and repairs on the system. So that kind of shoehorns us into a price bracket that we don't really like. That's not the main reason for this submission. There are sections of the building that do not work currently with the intercom system on a consistent basis. The most critical portion of the school is the gymnasium. So for instance, if a student needs to be dismissed, the student is in gym class, the main office secretary will call down on the intercom system. Most times it does not work. So we're relying upon the radio system, and if the radio is turned off, the handheld radios to the from the main office to the physical education teacher. So if the radio is turned off or it's a loud class, as gym class usually is, a lot of those announcements are missed. This also has happened with school lockdown procedures, where the gym class was the last to know that there was that type of emergency going on that was being broadcasted over the intercom system. Regular fire alarms are heard throughout the building, so that's not an issue. The alarms go off, you're to evacuate the building. So one of the main parts of this new proposed system is to bring all of the classroom spaces and meeting spaces in the building up to a usable, consistent, usable intercom system. Another aspect of the system is to replace the clocks throughout the building with an auto adjusting feature. So if there's a power outage, currently we have, I would say, half the building is battery operated, manually adjusted clocks. So every time there's a power outage, that has to be adjusted each space, which means for times that are off that don't match your staff member's computer screen, which is pretty much the Bible when you're going class to class and being scheduled for meetings. So all of the clocks would be replaced to a automatically adjustable setting, as well as for time changes, that would be corrected as well. One other very large component of the intercom system, which we currently don't have in this current system, but would be included in the system we'd be replacing it with, is a user-friendly bell schedule adjustment. So for when we have half days, if we have an early dismissal, if we have a school delay, the administration can easily, on their new platform, which is provided with it, this is a desktop mounted unit, they would be able to click on, say, 2-hour delay. So they'd be able to go over to the 2-hour delay, a pre-programmed list of a bell schedule would be there. They'd click it, drag it into the date, and submit it in, and the bell schedules would operate within 30 seconds of performing that function, where you would be up to speed for the remainder of the day, to make sure that we're not missing any classes, not taking any time of programming, which is laborsome. The last time I presented this was, I believe it was at the capital plan meeting, and at that time, that was in February, there was a price increase coming up in the end of March, excuse me. So I have the adjusted price increase, and it is very, it's not substantial whatsoever. It's about $200 or $300. So if, for finance committee purposes, if you need that read out to you, I can do that, or I can have the ensure that the new pricing is given to you.
Just for interest, we're not going to vote tonight, but just for interest,
Sure.
What's the pricing? What's the pricing going to be?
The final pricing is $38,793.51. I believe that was about a $300 increase from the prior submission, which I was surprised. I thought it was going to be a lot greater than that, because they were saying 15% increase on equipment. So this company has been working really well with us. One other feature of this intercom system is, this is a very common issue among our schools and among any other schools in other districts, are these older proprietary and based intercom systems, which are costly to maintain. They're outdated. They're being replaced. So we have been working our way through the Silver Lake regional school districts. We're going for these type of systems that will integrate all together. So the end goal here is, once all these schools have come up online with a new system, they will all be interconnected. So if the superintendent wanted to make an announcement, and this would go for, this is the next section of emergency uses. If the superintendent needed to make a district-wide address or anything along those lines with the superintendent's authorization, it can be done through this system, and can literally speak to each classroom or any space there is a intercom. One other feature of this intercom system is a preset recording for all types of emergency features, whether it's a fire alarm, school lockdown, whatever administration deems as an emergency, and with emergency services, what they deem as an emergency declaration you would make during the school day, you could pre-record that with the instructions from probably the principal in a calm, controlled environment, where they can clearly lay out the plan for dismissal or evacuation. So when this, if an incident were to take place, it would be a very simple push button on this desk-mounted console, where they could push lockdown, and a pre-recording of the principal's voice would come over and give you clear, calm description of how to proceed. I believe that pretty much sums up the system. We are going to be reusing a lot of the current wiring in the school, along with speakers. That this system is can adapt to the speaker that's in there. It's the same type of amperage as well as the current wire infrastructure of the building. So that is another benefit to keep the price, the cost down on installation.
Okay.
I'd be happy to take questions.
Thanks, Matt. That was a great summary. Questions from the committee? Matt, actually, many of the things that we were curious about last week, like interoperability and you know, how it was going to be used and what the current condition of the system is now, are all questions that you answered in that summary. So that was really good. Thank you very much.
It's better to be lucky than good sometimes.
That's right. That's right. But this time you were good, not lucky.
Great.
So thanks for that.
Absolutely.
Any questions from the committee at all? Okay, this is a great summary. Thank you. Sandy, this is already in the capital plan, correct?
Yes, it's already one of the articles. It's
Okay.
in for 38.8, which 793.51 is pretty much.
Yeah, we're
it.
about there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it is on your list of articles. It went into the warrant as a recommendation at town meeting. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you, Sandy.
So we're all set. Thanks, Matt.
Great. Thank you very much.
Sure. Welcome to stay. It's a thrilling evening, but it's up to you.
I got a bunch of leaves out there that say otherwise, but thank you.
All right, good. Thank you.
All right.
Good night.
Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, you too. Next up on the agenda is just a general discussion of the budget, where I think we are in really good shape. We have voted every line item that we need to vote. Sorry if you guys are getting that feedback. Looks like it's gone away. Let's see how we do. Sandy, if I'm correct, I mean, I think the one number that sort of tells it all for us is after the 1% increases, it looks like our usual $300,000 buffer is somewhere around $119,000 this year.
Yeah.
So we're cutting it very close to the levy limit.
Right.
But that is where we are. That is even with effectively a flat budget across the town, not flat services, but a flat budget across the town, except for some uncontrollable increases like special education and the waste management contract, and other just inflationary items that are hitting us in the budget. That's where we are, correct, Sandy?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Is there anything, Sandy, that we should focus on this evening in the budget, or I would just encourage everyone to just go through the line items and
Right.
make sure that we're in good shape on them.
So I put the budget into the OneDrive. I put the budget sheets. I also put a copy of the annual town meeting warrant, annual and special. Pam and I finished it up on Friday, and it went out to the printer. It will be being mailed out shortly, well, hopefully. And you'll have a hard copy, but I wanted you to be able to see it so you could go through all the articles. There was only a couple of articles that you didn't get recommendations in. Unfortunately, I missed one on the special. It was a last minute article that got put on for work on the front door of the town hall. It was for $11,000 to actually replace the doors. And if you've come to town hall recently, you'd see why they really need to be replaced.
Yeah.
Right now, one of the doors, when you leave with the doors locked, you can't go out the right-hand door because it will not close. You have to go out the left-hand door, make sure that right-hand door is closed in order for it to lock. That door has been an issue for a long time. Scott did get an article on the special town meeting for $11,000, and I missed it at the last meeting. So I put recommendation at town meeting. If you do want to talk to Scott about it, you're welcome to have him in before then. It's pretty simple.
Yeah.
but I would suggest, and I have suggested to the selectmen to review the articles. And I'm hoping, and to go over and make their recommendations. I'm hoping that they have a chance to meet with you before town meeting to discuss our financial situation.
Should we, how do we schedule that or
I
ask
think-
for it?
Yeah, I think just asking for it, asking
Okay.
if they'd be
Okay.
able to
Send an
come
email.
into a meeting.
Okay, thank you, Linda.
Yep.
Yeah, because I think that would make sense. There's just some things here that on the revenue side, we really need to worry about.
Yep.
All right. Is there anything committee on the budget? You know, we've had these long meetings over the last few weeks, and everybody's worked very hard to get through the entire budget line item by line item. Is there anything outstanding that you want to address, that you want more data on?
Cheryl has a question, I think.
Cheryl?
I don't remember voting on the tennis court for $110,000. But it says we recommended it. I don't remember that.
Actually,
You did
it was
vote
it was on the 28th, but you voted against it, Cheryl. So it's 4-1 recommended with a no on you.
And I did not put that note on
Okay.
there. If you want me to add it, I can.
You should.
Should.
No, that's okay. I just didn't remember it. I know in previous ones we voted no on that.
Isn't this one being funded differently though, Sandy?
Yes,
Yes.
the stabilization account.
The one that was set up special for Silver Lake when Pembroke left the region. We put money into a
Right.
stabilization. So this time
So,
they asked for money to come out of that.
yeah, this funding is not coming out of the budget, Cheryl. It's coming out of this fund that we set up when Pembroke left the region. So there are funds available to use it for things that the school deems appropriate. When that money's gone, that money's gone, but it's not coming from the budget.
Mm, all right.
All right, if probably all grateful for having a break from the budget this week, so that's a good thing. Is there unfortunately working off screens tonight, folks? Next up was just any public participation. I know that Darlene, you had something that you wanted to address this evening. I don't know if it's a big long thing that we should put on the agenda or something you just wanted to update us on.
No, actually, I was just wanted to give you an update as to the direction of the Council of Aging and the repurposing of the museum. And I have been sending out various informational pieces to the newspaper, Halifax Express, Plimpton Express. So a lot of this is getting out there. Kathy Lenasher was in today. It's going to go on her website as well. So I wanted to share the pictures, if I might. Gives you a little break anyway.
Sure, if Caesar can help us share them, that'd be great.
I actually, let me see, I have it all ready to go here. Hopefully you can open them. Let's see. I'll send it to Linda. Let's see, maybe you were able to do it, or maybe Caesar could do it for me. Let's see. Did you get it, Linda?
I don't have it yet. Oh, yep, there it comes.
I don't know if you were able to, oh, Caesar's popping in there now too. So, let's see. Some of the pictures, I sent it to Linda, Caesar.
Let me see.
Can you share your screen, Linda?
Yep, I'm opening the file first, and then I should
Okay.
be able to hopefully get into share the screen.
But anyway, so the purpose of just popping in tonight is just to explain the fact of what it will look like in a virtual way.
Can you see it?
Visually,
Sorry,
yep, that's right.
I just want to make sure everybody can see it.
Yeah, so
We got it,
that's,
Linda, thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's one picture.
Wow.
Caesar, we were just opening, there was a couple of other ones as well.
Yeah, I'm scrolling through.
Okay. All right, cool. So basically by visuals, I just thought the option was to go with the model, but this was even better. Only because of the fact I believe, you know, we've defined what the rooms are. There is another sketch that was created that actually defines, you know, room number 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And also just, you know, defines that we have a hall area that's going to be divided. So it gives a better flavor as to what to expect going forward. And I just thought the artisan that actually put this together, there was another piece of it that, see, you can see the details a little bit more. But it's something that can be shared on a teleprompter or one of the, you know, HDMI TV in the town hall, at the library. And then we can share that on our website as well. There's going to be a virtual walkthrough. So in other words, I don't know if you've actually purchased a home recently, but you could do walkthroughs in homes. Well, that's what's going to happen with this. So that's in the making, and it should be ready by Wednesday. But it just gives the people the idea of being excited about what the possibilities are going forward, and that funding is there. It's just a matter of making this all happen and having that fund, you know, part of the money's already, I mean, it's taxpayer money already there. The bond has been set aside, and it's the tax base is already created. So it's just a matter of the transfer. But aesthetically on 106, it's going to look beautiful. I mean, it's going to just add another flavor to that 106 as people drive by and notice that the community of Halifax is developing. I was off, I had a 2-hour meeting today with OCPC, Old Colony Planning Council, in reference to a lot of the Title V grant funds that they've provided us with, or they receive, and did the distribution of it throughout the communities. So what's most important is to describe the services that we are providing. I don't know if you saw my newsletter, but it summarizes pretty much why it's an important part of our community here in Halifax, but not just for an aging or ageism. I don't want to call it older adults, but, you know, for us aging or aging in place, that it's going to be a part of the future community. And, you know, services that we do provide is not just, you know, for someone even with a disability, but for families that are dealing with a lot of different service needs. So bringing them to the level, in fact, I talked to John Campbell today, and he said to me, how are you going to do all this stuff? But, you know, that's the connection in the networks created over the last 10 years. And bringing the public to see that these connections are available to them is so important. It's not that if we had to hire the staff, we couldn't afford to service the public in a way that hasn't happened over the last 30 years, even the last 10 years. So going forward, these services are going to be housed under here, but we are a resource. And being able to connect to the outside services like Old Colony Elder Services, the ASAPs, and also the ILCs, the Independent Living Centers, that is the expectations of the Executive Office of Elder Affairs in terms of what we are to provide for services and going, you know, in the future stuff too, fitness classes, but also to just resources that are available to a lot of the families out there.
So Darlene, I think it'll be really important at ATM for you to be able to, I anticipate based on prior ones that you'll get questions about those things, and folks will want to be reassured that we're not just building an empty building that has no programming capability inside. So that's my first recommendation would be to make sure that we have crisp answers on that programming stuff that's going to go in, that it's not just an empty, sort of an empty shell, because I think we will get those questions. Sandy, with respect to the money too, as I said, this is gorgeous. And this is just going to, you're right, 106 is going to pop with this building. We know that we have sort of similar infrastructure issues with the town hall and with the police department and with the firehouse. Is there a rationale that we need to be prepared to kind of convey on why these funds are used here and not for those are three other central buildings? I know that the COA building is probably the worst of the four central buildings in town, but what else should we be thinking about in sort of why this, not that? Because I think we'll get those questions too.
Right. I think that the police station and the fire station, they're much larger jobs. As far as they're actually talking about a combined safety building complex, which is something that's going to cost quite a bit of money.
Sure.
And much larger than what we have with this amount. This is a building that can be done in the 1.6 that we have left over from the school.
Right.
The police station, the fire station wouldn't be. If we put the 1.6 into those buildings at this time, it wouldn't make them suitable for
Habitable.
future use.
Okay.
So
I mean, that's great rationale, right? This is if we think about, Brockton's new project, it's $98 million. And I get that there are orders of magnitude bigger than us, but if we're looking at building a public safety center for police and fire, the 1.4 would be a drop in the bucket. We need a new bond, and we do it right with that. So this is a good use of that excess money.
Right. I mean, it would be millions.
Yeah, for sure.
$12 million easy. So.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Right.
I don't, maybe you want to share the screen too on the virtual. I don't know if you could open it, Linda.
Let me take a look.
If you can, it's not a big deal, but I just wanted to see how it's just an area here where you can actually put chairs out there, in the summer months, but also to accessibility to a ramp that we don't have now, that luxury of having anyone enter our building and making it a more, easily accessible for anybody that is in a wheelchair or perhaps maybe with a walker. Yeah. So right now we don't have that capability at all. Even the privacy, if we're offering Shine programs or any program with some privacy to it, there's no privacy here right now. So, and I have to sign a contract here that says that we have to offer these service, this type of a building where it's conducive to, some violations of HIPAA. So, because we are talking about medical needs and we have a lot of specific things that we deal with. So we are sharing rooms and it's just, it is what it is, but we outgrew it. And that's a good thing. We outgrew it and it's a good thing. So I just wanted to share.
Thank you for sharing this with us. Committee, any questions or comments about the building? Okay.
Nope.
Thank you, Darlene.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, let's see. We have, I think we're at that. Any other business?
There was no correspondence, so there's nothing else that I know of.
Okay, no reserve fund transfers, no correspondence.
Nope.
Okay.
Excuse me for 1 second.
Sure,
hi, Tom.
Hey, Sue.
So I did just want to bring something to your attention. There is a possibility, we're not sure exactly, but that we'll have to have a special election to replace the treasurer collector position. The selectmen haven't confirmed how they're going to move forward, but I would have to increase my budget to hold that. So it would be approximately, I think, around $6,000.
I think the committee would want to be comfortable that, we've understood this was a possibility, and I know this isn't on you, but it seems like we could name an interim without holding an election.
Correct. That's what I'm hearing, but I don't know. So that part has absolutely nothing to do with me.
Sure.
I was told by the selectmen to put you on notice. So that's what I'm doing. All right.
Yep, so we're on notice, but we have questions. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's Sue,
Linda?
just to check and clarify for the group, that might be a possibility that would be within this year fiscal 22's budget, right? That you're looking for that money.
Correct. So I've
If it's
given them
before July 1st.
So I've given them a couple of dates. One of the dates is in June and one of the dates is in July. So it'll
It could
really
go either way.
It could go either way, and
Mhm.
that's up to them.
Okay.
So, all right.
So what
Thank
can
you, Sue.
happen, if we have it in July, we could increase the budget on town meeting floor due to that fact. If it's in June, we do not have an article currently on the special town meeting for this because we didn't know it was a possibility.
Yeah,
So it would probably have to be handled either by a reserve fund transfer or a line item transfer, just for your information.
okay.
Okay?
Clarify that again. That is if it's for fiscal 23, because we don't have an article.
No, if it's for fiscal 22, if she has to have the special election in June,
Okay,
then we have no, because we didn't put an article on the special town
Sure.
meeting. So the only place we could get the money is either the reserve fund or through a line item transfer, and would have to find another budget that we could steal money from.
Okay.
So if it's in July and we know about it before town meeting, then we can increase her budget line for FY23 because
Sure.
July is FY23.
okay.
Okay?
So do you have any sense of timing on when the board is going to make a determination on how they want to move this forward?
So it was scheduled to be discussed at tomorrow night's meeting. That meeting has been canceled. I believe it's being rescheduled for Thursday night, but I'm not sure. But it was one of the agenda items.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Sure. Maybe I'll, if it's been moved to Thursday, maybe I'll try to attend just so that we can get sort of firsthand information on what the determination is on this, and anyone else, if you've got Thursday availability, maybe attend too. All right, any other business? Okay, wow, this is a record of late. Motion to adjourn at 6:33.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And a roll call vote. Michael?
Yes.
Todd?
Yes.
John?
Yes.
Cheryl?
Yes.
And myself, Tom Connolly. Motion carries. We're adjourned. Thank you all. Remember, we are off next week for the holiday, and we'll see you the following Monday.
All right.
Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Happy
Later.